Bethany Warren here, and you've joined us for the weekly Our Millwall fan show with the Millwall No One Likes Us Talking team, which is broadcast every Friday evening. Enjoy!
I'm Gary Staff, and I have with me the No One Likes Us Talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart, and George Lampey.
Not everybody likes them, but they don't care.
We are top the league. Say we are top the league. Right, I've got to do it. Look, I don't know how often we're going to say it this season, or if we ever say it again this season, but it's just nice to say it. And I know, do you know what? I watched the games at the weekend, even the Watford game right to the end, to make sure it stayed at 1-0, just so we could say we were top of the league for the full bit of for the full week of the season. Anyway, guys, so what did you make of the first game last week? I'll go with you, Pat, first.
Cresswell, what a find. Lovely. I think Cooper's got some competition there. Cresswell's 6'4", so with them two in the area, I can see this being a good season. The only thing is Hutch is back. What are we going to do with Cresswell? Because there's no way he should be dropped come Saturday.
I think I think, unfortunately, Malone will take the hit and bring Wallace to the left.
Yeah, I think Malone's going to take the hit. But it was a lovely game. We could have got 4 easy on Saturday. We need to take those chances, and that is what's still lacking with us. We had a decent attacking player there, putting them away. I think it's certainty would make the playoffs. But as that said, it was a good game all round, and I was happy with that.
Talking of attackers putting them away, Bradshaw did. Why? Does anyone know why he was offside? Or was Clarkson offside?
No, I was right behind that goal. I followed that all the way. And as far as he was concerned, there was nothing wrong with it. But something must have happened somewhere else. Obviously.
I think it might have been earlier on in the move, but we're not in the Premier League, are we? We're not letting play go on for half an hour before we stick a flag up, are we?
No. Well, they were quite late during that game. I thought that linesman on the sort of west side was really slow in his decisions. But no, it was confusing to everyone why that was.
It was. Dave, what about you, mate? What did you make of the Stoke game?
Oh, well, it's always great to start a season with a good win. I say a good win, but it could have been, as Pat said, 3 or 4 goals. Just hitting on that Bradshaw goal, I think from where the Cobler Lane end, we thought it was the goalkeeper coming out and punching the ball and punching his own teammate in the back of the neck, who then went down, and it was given as a foul on the player, but it was his own goalkeeper.
Oh, really?
So I thought it was a Millwall player on the floor there.
No, it was the goalkeeper that did the punching that decked the player, whoever went down. So it wasn't a foul by one of our players. So as you say, we don't know why it was disallowed. But yeah, I was impressed with Cresswell coming in for Hutch. That was a bit of a shock losing him so early, but didn't he do well, that boy? And Honeyman. They can pick a pass out, can't he? That's for sure.
Loving Honeyman.
So, things are looking, well, like it's only game 1, but long may it go on. So we'll carry that and keep playing like this in the league.
And George?
I just felt sad. It was great. It had all the ingredients. It was a first match of the season at home, sunny day, lovely sunny day, nearly a full house. We get a win. I just thought it had everything going for it on Saturday, and I thoroughly enjoyed the day. We really played well compared to what I'd seen in the pre-season, which had looked pretty rough, to be honest. But no, I think the guys all worked really hard. The goals were good, and I was disappointed for Bradshaw, but I just think it was a great game. A great day. And a great game, actually, and what a start to the season. Let's hope we keep that going.
Thanks, George. Before we move on to the rest of the show, Jeff, who recently spoke at Phil Walker's funeral, who we all know who recently passed, has put together a few words that you'd like to give to you now?
I'd like to remember Phil Walker. He passed after a short illness on the 8th of July. And I was privileged to be able to attend and speak at his funeral. Trevor Lee, his teammate at Millwall, also spoke or had his words read by Phil's oldest daughter, Tamara, because Phil felt he could not control his emotions, and I could barely control mine. Bit of background to Phil: he was born in Fulham, went to Battersea County School, same school as Trevor, same year. Like a lot of young men, when he left school, he hadn't been an apprentice at a professional club or anything, which was the way in the 70s. So he went to work as an apprentice electrician, I think in a factory in Acton, if I'm not mistaken, and played Sunday football for a team called Waverley in the Riverside District League, a Sunday league in South London. Got asked to go to a couple of non-league clubs and was eventually spotted playing for Cobham by Pat O'Connell, who Phil cites as one of the greatest influences on his footballing career. Pat O'Connell was the manager of Exeter Newell, who at the time had been struggling for some years in the Surrey Senior League, having previously been quite a big club in the Athenian League, one of the top amateur leagues in London at the time. He signed for them when he was 19, and in their first season they won their league and also one of the cups, I think the Charity Cup. And in his second season, at the age of 20, they reached the final of the FA Vase at Wembley, where they lost 2-1. Phil was 20, and surprisingly, it didn't lead to professional clubs beating the path to Epsom's door. Finally, in November 75, a few months later, by which time Phil was 21, Pat O'Connell invited Gordon Jago, Millwall's manager, to see the team, and 4 of the players were invited in for trials, and 2 of them ended up signing pro contracts. Obviously, that's Philip and Trevor. It was a brave move by Gordon to put completely untried amateur players into the first team, who were then in League One and in the process of being rebuilt. But what happened? On their debut, Trevor set up Phil for the winning goal against Mansfield, a day that a lot of people of a certain age can remember. This was 1975. It wasn't an easy time. Everyone knows that they were pioneers in the sense that they were young black footballers playing for a London team. 3 years later, at West Bromwich Albion, 3 black players, Brendan Batson, Cyril Regis, I think Laurie Cunningham, were celebrated as pioneers and described as the 3 amigos. What isn't so well remembered is that in 1975 Millwall had the 2 amigos, or the stylistics of Millwall, as some parts of the media named them. Phil was eventually sold to near neighbours Charlton for financial reasons in 1979. From then on, niggling injuries bedevilled his career, and he found himself in 1983 finishing in England and going to Portugal, where within a few months of playing for a little team called Leixos, he found that his injuries had magically cleared up, as if the climate had benefited him, and he signed for top level Boa Vista. He played for them in his 30s until he was like 36, 37 even, playing at places like Sporting Lisbon, Benfica, etc. Had a great career in his 30s. When he finished with them, he went to Maya, a lower level team in the same area, where he started to do coaching, but eventually he did return to the UK. When he returned, he set up a coaching school in Wandsworth and in Wimbledon Common, operated it until his passing with his son Bo. It's very successful, and all the players in that club absolutely worshipped Phil as a coach and a mentor and father figure. It was a great privilege to be at that funeral. His brother Dennis, who is the father of Carl Walker-Peters, he spoke at the funeral. Tamara, his eldest daughter, Bo, his son, and Amber, his other daughter, spoke. His 4 grandchildren, Melissa, Story Lee, Janie Blue and Eson, were all present. It was a great privilege to be there representing Millwall, and the best thing was they all came back to the club the very next day for the game, and they witnessed how well regarded Phil was by our fans with that marvellous minute's applause, a great tribute to a great player. I'm a bit emotional, aren't I? And it finished within a minute or so at the end of that round of applause, Millwall scored their opening goal of the season. I really miss him. And R.I.P. Philip Leonardus Walker.
Thank you, Jeff, for that very moving tribute to Phil Walker, who will be missed by all Millwall fans. Rest in peace, Phil. We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Warren talking about our new matchday programmes.
Hi, Bethany here. Want a matchday programme? You'll find them with sellers outside the ground by the gates at Zampa Road, Stockholm Road and Senegal Road. They cost £1 and the sellers ask if you can have the right money, as change will be difficult. If you want to get a message, photos of special events, memorials or just ones for good luck to be included, email smprogram@protonmail.com. That is smprogramme @protonmail.com. It's a great read.
So, our first guest this evening is a long-time friend of the show. This man has played 196 times for the Lions, with 60 of them back in the old First Division. He was part of the infamous team that took us to the Holy Grail in 1988. He then stayed with us for a further 2 seasons before going out on loan to Middlesbrough and playing 4 times in the Premier League, which I didn't know. A further short spell at Stoke on loan followed before signing for Portsmouth, and then he finished his career with 2 full seasons with Hartlepool. Welcome to the show, Brian Horne.
Good evening, how are you?
Good.
How are you?
All right, Brian. Right.
How's the summer been?
Oh, hot.
It's
Very
lovely, yeah.
Still hot.
Good.
Too hot.
I don't know where you are yet, Brian, so I'll ask that question first. So
Right.
I hear you're somewhere in the Med at the moment. Whereabouts are you, Brian, and what you've been up to?
Not the bed if you know your med, if you know your geography. It's the Atlantic, actually. I'm in Portugal.
Ah,
I've been here for the last 6 weeks, obviously working with training camps and different bits and pieces. So I'm now on a family vacation for a couple of weeks, so it's nice to have a rest.
lovely.
Right. Hello, Brian. It's Pat.
Pat, how are you?
I'm good. You? Nice
Very
and tanned, are you? Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, I am.
So, top of the league after beating Stoke. After such a bad pre-season with the friendlies, what do you make of our winning start?
I always think pre-season is pre-season, and I think that if you win too many games in pre-season, I don't think it's good, because I think the manager really gets a true picture of sort of where he is with sort of some indifferent results. But obviously bringing Cresswell in from Leeds and the injury before the first game to Hutch made him come in and play. Scored 2 goals. Great winning start at home against Stoke. I think it's sets a good platform. Let's put it that way.
I agree.
Evening, Brian. It's Dave here.
Dave, how are you?
I'm very well, thanks. Everything's all right with you?
Yeah, all good.
Good. So this Carabao Cup, which Cambridge on Tuesday, it's like these cup games start a bit too early in the season, and they're sometimes used as an extra friendly. What do you think of the tournament?
No, I disagree with you. You know, I think that the tournament's good for all the teams in all divisions. Obviously, the big boys come in later on next round, I think, but I think it's a good competition for all clubs. I don't think they use it as an extra friendly. I've got to disagree with you. I think it's a really good competition, and I think you can see over the last years, Man City have won it on numerous occasions. I can't remember if Liverpool won it this year, but the top boys are always there or thereabouts and take it seriously. So I think Gary will be disappointed that we've got beaten, and maybe it gives the squad minutes on the pitch that are needed to keep their fitness up, just in case they need to come in, like Cresswell did this weekend at short notice It's games that he can play our group and our squad in, and keep their fitness and fitness levels up and ready to come if needed into the first team if needed.
Just stepping in there, then, Brian. What do you think went wrong on Tuesday night? Then
We lost 1-0.
Yeah, I know, but I felt from listening to it like it was a case of go what you need, do you need to, guys. If you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. That's the impression I was getting, and that's why I put that question in.
No, I think if you ask Gary Rowett, he would say something completely different to that. I don't think that's the case. I mean, some managers will say that being out of that competition makes us concentrate on the league a little bit more, and there's less games and different bits and pieces. But I think at this time of the season, and as you've rightly pointed out with pre-season, I think the games are going to come quick and fast with the World Cup and different bits and pieces. So, I just think the squad are going to be very, very, very important up until November of this year. I think there's going to be a lot of players that come in and play because of how many games they're going to be in a short space of time.
Right, talking about that, so we've had quite a few players come in, but do you think we still need some additional players?
I'm sure Gary would like to bring some more in, but again, I think we are starting to build a very, very good squad. Gary's now bringing in his own players, after COVID and setting his own standards. And I'm sure this season he will want to reach the playoffs. I'm going to put a bit of pressure on him this year. That I think now we've spent a few quid over the last 3 or 4 years. I think now's the time that we really push and try and get into them playoffs.
Yeah,
is there a position that you think might in the team that we might need to strengthen, just looking at what he's got so far?
Listen, the idea of football is to put the ball in the back of the net. And I'm not saying that our forwards are not good enough, but it's always good to have a forward that can find the back of the net. And that's where the money is. That's everybody is looking for that player in the Championship that can, Pookie springs a bell that come in from Norway, went to Norwich and has scored a lot of goals. We need a little bit of luck like that where we can recruit a player that's gonna score us a lot of goals and not cost us too much. But I'm sure you're aware that everyone in the world is looking for that player and the recruitment systems and everything else. And that's where we are. But if we're going to bring in anywhere, I think that for me it's got to be a really good centre forward. If you look at the other teams, the top teams in our division, I mean they're paying them something like 30 or 40 grand a week, these top forwards in our division. So we can't compete with that. There's no way in the world that our football club can compete with them type of wages. So I believe that, if that's the case, the recruitment has just got to find that special person that can come in and, another Neil Harris, another Teddy Sheringham, Cascarino that, we've got for peanuts and Kale that come through the system. We've got to find that one player that is going to bang in 30 goals a year or 20 goals. It's not go mad. 20 goals a year would be great for us.
Yeah. Well, we can't have you on, Brian, without talking about the old First Division for all our older people out there. Probably a question you've been asked before, but what was your most memorable game over those 2 years?
I think the first game at Aston Villa, it was a moment for all Millwall fans, past and present. I think it was a special moment for all the players that had worked hard to get us there the year before. And I think, although it was 2-2 and that result, the away support that day was just amazing. The 7,000 fans that travelled up to Villa Park. It was just, and we were disappointed. Remember, we were 2-0 up. I made a mistake, I think, with Dorsey, but it was just a fantastic occasion for Millwall Football Club. We hadn't been there before. The fans were amazing, just brilliant. And the other one was away at Liverpool, 1-1. I think that's possibly the best result in the club's history. And I think going up there with the players that they had at the time were Barnes, McMahon, Beardsley, Aldridge, Rush. They had a magnificent side.
Was that the Stevenson goal?
Yep. Stevenson goal, yeah.
Yeah.
So they were the team of the nation then, weren't they? They were top team, weren't they?
Yeah, they were. And I mean, Steve-O, we hadn't even met Steve-O until he walked in the dressing room. He'd signed on the Friday and he started and he scored. I mean, we didn't even know the boy. But, you know, it was just unbelievable. You know, the Millwall fans up at Liverpool as well. I mean, they were absolutely amazing.
We had a habit of joining them in the cup as well, didn't we, Brian, back then as well?
Yeah, we did, yeah. I think we got beat 2-1 at home, if I remember rightly. But it was just the league game up at Anfield. I just think that it was a brilliant Millwall performance. If you look at Terry Erlock, he broke his ribs a minute before the end of the game, and he still played on. And it was just a fixture that was amazing and an amazing result. And I think people started taking us seriously in that division then, and they should have done because we had a great side.
Yeah, some great times, as you say, and good memories. But being top of the league after the QPR game, it was very surreal at the time to everyone. But was there a sort of feeling within the fan base that it was a bit easy in this top division?
No, I don't think so. I think that we just got off to a very, very good start. I mean, the same as any club going into the division was different. You've got to say now, with all the money that are pumped in, you didn't have the Man Cities, the Liverpools, the Man Uniteds, the Evertons that had plenty of money, you know, and that have got plenty of money now. It's a totally different division. You know, there was probably 7 or 8 teams in that division that could have won the league that year. You know, there wasn't that bigger gap that there is now. But Liverpool, and obviously going top of the league, as you say, against QPR, it was well deserved. You know, it wasn't a fluke in any different way. We came into the division. Clubs didn't really do their homework and how we played and how strong we were, and you know they underestimated Cascarino and Sheringham. You know, and they went on to great things, as you know. But I just think that you know we were a very, very good and very well organised side at that time. And we were hard to beat.
Yeah, we were an unknown quantity for certain.
Yeah, and to be fair, I want another manager to come in and rewrite the history books. I want Millwall to be in that Premier League because no one wants us in now. I want Millwall to get into that Premier League, and I want them to see how good our supporters are. We always get, you know, the raw. You know, people say different things, but that year or 2 years we was in the top flight. The support in that league for our team was amazing. They were. I can't say enough about the fans on them 2 years we were there. They travelled with us everywhere. They were our 12th man. They were absolutely magnificent, and I want that to happen again.
Was it the first season, Brian, when Briley hit the volley from about 25 yards, or maybe longer, 30 yards at Highbury, and they let it out? And that was the season they won the league on the last game of the season, wasn't it? And if that goal had gone in, it wouldn't have gone down to that game.
That was it. Yeah, it was. You're talking about the away leg at Highbury.
No, not the away. I think it was a Tuesday night game. I think they showed it on the telly.
It was at Highbury. Les Briley scored. It was Les Briley scored, and it was disallowed. Right.
Yeah.
It was disallowed. Yeah, if that goal would have stood, they wouldn't have won the league. Yeah, that's for sure. And I still don't know why it wasn't allowed.
Because it was us, wasn't it? Right, let me bring you back to the present, and you've really answered this a little bit already. I mean, fans' expectations are going to be higher this season, I think, after where we finished last season. So realistically, do you think we got a chance at the playoffs?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, I think we've got a very, very good back five, and the squad now that he's filled in with Cresswell and everything else like that. I think we've got a realistic chance. But as I said and said previously, that just finding that centre forward that can stay fit, that can hit 20 goals a year, makes a massive difference in any division. And Gary needs to find that little kingpin, and before the end of August, try and find someone that's affordable to the club, and take a chance on someone coming in and hopefully getting a few goals for us.
See, the way we play, we seem to be strong at the back, strong in midfield, but we don't create a great deal of chances up front, do we? And when I'm watching, that's the impression I get.
I think over the last 2 years, I think Gary Rout's realised that he's got to be more offensive at home. I think when he first came to the club, we might have gone 1-0 up at home, and he wanted to close shop, and it become a little bit monotonous. Maybe a little bit boring to the eye. But I think, to be fair to Gary, I think he's realised that the fans want offensive play at the Den. They want the team to go at them. I know, obviously, we can't do that all the time, but he wants the team to. We want goals. We want 2 or 3 goals at home. We want to. We want the fans want to be entertained. And I think he really have realised that. And whether we score from 2 set pieces or whether we get two goals from open play, 2 goals is 2 goals. We win 2-0. Let's move on. We've started well, and good results breed confidence, and that's what I want. I think we've got a really good chance. If our home form is good, I think we've got a really good chance this year of sneaking into the playoffs. I don't want to put too much pressure on the boys, but I just think that we're good enough. I think there's a lot of experience now in the back line. The goalkeeper's been amazing for us for the last 3 seasons, and we've got a good back line. And Billy Mitchell in the middle of the park is growing in experience. He's getting stronger, and it's great to see. And we want to flourish. And I think Gary's on the right track. I really believe that he's signing some good players, and we're going to have a good season.
Good. Let's hope you're right, mate.
Fingers crossed. Thank you, Brian. We'll let you get back to your
sangria.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say that.
I'm just jumping in the pool for a swim. You'll be all right.
Cheers, Brian. On that note, but before we go, though, Brian, we're talking about Saturday up at Sheffield United. What do you think?
Draw will be good. I think a draw. Let's be realistic again. We're playing against a very good side. Only been out of the Premiership, a couple of years, their second year out of it. Again, they've got the parachute payment, which helps them greatly, that Millwall have never had. So if we go up there and we get a draw, then I think that'll be a good result and a very good start to the season.
Excellent. Thanks, Brian. Take care, and always a pleasure.
Cheers, Brian.
We'll get you back on before the end of
See you at the next home game in the lounge, hopefully, Patricia and everybody.
Oh, you paying?
Yeah,
that's nice.
By the way, George has got his own box. I don't need to pay for George. He's in his own box.
So just the 4 of us then. Just me, Dave, Pat.
You're welcome anytime in the lounge, don't worry.
Just go and jump in the pool, will ya?
And by the way, Patricia, well done on doing the programme.
Thank you very much.
Well done on doing the programme. I hope it goes from strength to strength.
It is. It's going really well. Thank you.
Can I ask a question? Because I don't know. Where's the money going from what proceeds are going? Is it going to charity?
It's not.
Players, or?
No, it's not. Well, there's no profits. We're actually in debt at the moment due to paying the printer. They're only £1 each.
Right.
I suppose if we get anything, it will go into sponsorship at the club, but at the moment we're a little bit in debt.
Let's hope there's a sponsor out there then that will come in and make
no, because we don't want to go around the advertising route or that, because we don't want to get into this old tax thing. So we want to keep it not for profit and not really take advertising money, or it's purely for the love of the club. It's nothing else.
Well done, and keep it going.
Thank you.
Here.
All right, mate.
Well, cheers, Brian. Right,
take it easy.
Yeah, cheers, Brian.
Cheers, Brian.
Ta-da.
We'll take a break there and listen to Bethany Warren talking about the Millwall Community Trust.
The work of the Millwall Community Trust makes a big difference for people in Lewisham, Southwark and North Kent. Times are getting tougher, and to help them make a difference, you can help too by making a donation. Give a one-off donation or a monthly amount. Your support is crucial in raising vital funds for their work, or by fundraising for them. If you are running, swimming, cycling, cooking, dancing, parachuting or anything else, why not do it for the Millwall Community Trust? Interested? Then either email inquiries@millwallcommunity.org.uk or phone 0207 740 0503. I'll say that again. Email inquiries@millwallcommunity.org.uk or phone 0207 740 0503. Thanks if you can.
Thanks, Bethany. I'm Gary Staff, and I have with me the No One Likes Us Talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart, and George Lampey.
Alice here. Thank you for watching my videos. Now, to hear what the Millwall Lionesses and Romans have been up to, and to hear who is next up for Gary Rowett and the Lions. Come on, Millwall!
Thanks, Ellis. Listening to your clip always makes me smile. Millwall Romans and Millwall Pride are yet to return to action, but we do have a clip from our ex-Lionesses skipper who caught up with our very own Eamon Barkley talking about the women's football.
I've caught up with Libby Stubbs, who was the captain of Millwall Lionesses up until the end of this season. She's moved on, and she was also No One Likes Us Talking's sponsored player. Libby, tell us about how you came to come into football and how you ended up with the Lionesses.
So I've been playing football for about 20 years nearly now. So I started when I was 5. I joined a local grassroots boys team in Horne Church, where I live. That's all that was available at the time, was to join the boys teams. I got too old to play with the boys. I had to join a girls team, so I joined Brentwood, which was another grassroots team. And then from Brentwood, I went to another grassroots team in Horne Church, which was called Tigers JFC. They're quite a big grassroots team in my area. And then I stayed there till I was about 16. And then alongside that, with sixth form, I was playing for Barking Abbey, who are quite a big girls' college sixth form team.
Yeah.
And after sixth form, I went to the States and played out there for about 6 months to a year. That was in St. Louis, so St. Louis Community College I was with. And then when I come back from there, I joined Leyton Orient, playing mainly in the development team. I think I was there for about 2-3 years. And then from Leyton Orient, I went to Millwall. And then obviously I've been there for 3 years.
Yeah, a 3-year stint, which we thoroughly enjoyed your presence in, and which caused us to decide that we'd sponsor you as a player as well. And we really appreciate everything that you've done there, Libby. So over those 3 years, what were your highlights?
Oh, there's so many. I mean, it still makes me kind of emotional to think that I've left, because it's probably one of the greatest times I've had whilst playing football. Just the club as a whole is just probably one of my favourite places that I've been. I think we had a lot of highs, a lot of lows. The main thing's probably just all the girls that I've met and that I've had the pleasure of calling my teammates for the past 3 years. There's just some great people connected with the club, and there was never a game, never a session that went past without a good few laughs. So yeah, it definitely brought my love for the game back, because I wasn't really enjoying my football until I went to Millwall again. So yeah, it definitely brought my love for the game back, and I'm just really grateful for everything that the club did for me whilst I was there, and the fans as well, and obviously yourselves with sponsoring me. It was just a really great 3 years.
It was, and there were some great highlights in there as well, and you all did have a good laugh, and that was quite visible. You were so noisy, you'd frighten anybody with the music playing in your dressing room, goodness. But anyway, Libby, you also featured for us on a piece about the women's game and the inequality therein. Henry Morgan spoke to you. Do you think that with the Euro Championships being won by the England team, that's going to make much of a difference to that agenda now?
Do you know what? I think it will. I mean, the ticket sales themselves, that's one of the big things that shows that. I mean, it was one of the biggest selling games in the men and women's Euros. So to have that many people interested in the women's game and seeing it deserves the recognition that it's now getting, definitely. I mean, I hope that it can bring about a lot more opportunities to the young girls than what I ever had when I was playing, when I was younger. And yeah, I really do think that we'll start to see a massive increase in the support of people wanting to come down and watch the women's games, and hopefully that will then increase the funding for players like myself.
In an all-round position, that'd be great. That was one of our best single-person interviews that we'd had. It was listened to by many people, so thanks for doing that when you did, and a little marker that you've left with us now that you're departing. It's London seaward now, yes?
Yes, it is. So I was at Leyton Orient, obviously, before I joined Millwall, and they sort of had a similar situation where the Leyton Orient team split away from this independent club now called London Seaward. So they play in Tier 4 National League. Yeah, so I know quite a few people that are there already, and it's obviously the right side of the water for me, being from Essex.
Essex girl. Well, we'll forgive you that. One of our most famous goalkeepers came from Essex, Brian King, so we'll allow you as well. Libby, look, wish you all the best for the future, and perhaps one day you'll come back and we'll see you down at the ground there playing the Lionesses. That might well be the case. You never know. And,
you never know.
I look forward to that. We all say all the best, and thanks for what you did with that side. He was a good captain, and we enjoyed watching you. Thanks, Libby.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thanks, Libby, and I'm sure we all wish you all the best. Good luck in your new adventures. The first team are back in action this weekend with an away game against Sheffield United up at Bramall Lane. Start with you, Pat. We're top of the league. What do you think?
What do I think? Well, we've got to pick ourselves up off the floor after that Cambridge display. But we all think Sheffield United, good club, as you say, they've got the parachute payments, as Brian was saying. And they've bought, I think, 6 new players this year, or signed 6. They've not had a good pre-season. Again, we're saying, do we count friendlies? They lost to Watford last week.
I don't think they were that good. To be honest, I watched the Watford game. I thought Watford outclassed them a little all over the park, really.
Yeah, I think that's to be expected with Watford. I think they're favourites to go up. But I don't think Sheffield United are the side we remember. They did get one loanee in, James McAtee from Man City. He looks really good. But I can't see them being the opponents we think they are. They've got a couple of injuries as well. Last week it was Robinson, Basham and Doyle. Sounds like a solicitor's, doesn't it?
Sounds like sweet, doesn't it?
Yeah, and this Bosnian they got, he was suspended last week, but I think he's back on Saturday. I'm going to try and pronounce it. It's Hakemed Oldic, is it?
I missed on research.
I thought Bielkowski was hard. Anyway, he should be back.
For that, we won't, yeah.
Yeah, I'm like, yeah. Anyway, I think possible we could win up there.
We do well. Cooper's got to score, isn't he? If he doesn't score,
obviously.
So, what do you think, Dave?
Well, like Pat, I watched the Watford game, and with Watford coming freshly down from the Premiership, they literally were a class above Sheffield United in lots of areas. Even though Sheffield United have got a lot of people up front, they've got Jebison and Dye, and then they brought on Brewster and our old mate Billy Sharp, who's a proven goal scorer, but he's getting on a bit now. But they've got this guy that sits behind the front line, Sonderberger, I think his name is. And so he pulls the strings with the team. But I think we'll pick the game up again. The cup game's always, we play a mixture of different players because it is what it is. You're not really playing your first choice team. So I'm hoping that with Hutch back and we'll pick it up, and I think we could get a win as well.
What do you think, George?
Well, I mean, I'm old enough to know that you never get an easy game at Bramall Lane, but listening to them two, they've made me a little bit confident, actually. I was going to go for a draw here, but they've convinced me. So I'm actually going to... I didn't see the Watford game, so I can't talk about that. But, I'm going to let them lead me on this, and I'm going to be confident now and think we can go for a win here.
Cool. I personally think they're a hell of a lot weaker team without Morgan Gibbs-White, even though he was diving around all over the place, getting free kicks left, right and centre when he always felt like he was done by, but that's just the way he played. Don't know where he's actually gone now. I think he's back at Wolves, not sure. But I think they're a weaker team without him. Dave's right, Sander Berger is a very good player, but I think we might nick a result up there. I don't know, I just feel it's one of those, and I'll go 2-1 for us on Saturday as well. Pat, did you give us a prediction? I don't think you did.
I didn't. I'm going to go 2-0.
Go on then, Dave.
Oh, the dreaded 1-0.
Oh, okie dokes. Right, we will take a break there and listen to Bethany Warren talking about the History and Heritage Tour.
The next guided Millwall History and Heritage Tour around the famous Millwall sites on the Isle of Dogs takes place on Saturday, September the 24th, starting at 11 a.m, and tickets are currently on sale at eventbrite.co.uk. That is eventbrite.co.uk. Just search Eventbrite for the Millwall History and Heritage on the site to book your tickets.
I'm Gary Staff, and with me I have the No One Likes Us Talking team of Patricia Maslin, Dave Hart and George Lampey. Our second guest tonight is the Football and Sports Development Manager at the Millwall Community Trust, and he has continued to do amazing work through the summer in the community. Welcome to the show, Tim Sells.
Evening all.
Evening, Tim.
Evening, Tim.
Oh, we all
very well.
All good,
well.
Yeah.
All good. Good.
Nice.
So, Tim, I've been told I'm not allowed to say before I pass you off to the team, so I'll say something else. Before I hand you to my colleagues to talk with you, what did you think about the Lionesses winning the Euros in the last
it was fantastic, wasn't it? I watched pretty much all the games, and not just the England ones. To see that final played at Wembley in front of, 90,000? That was it was something else, wasn't it, really? A real sort of watershed moment, I thought. I'm actually friends with Pauline Cope, who used to be the England goalie many moons ago. And
I remember her, yeah.
Yeah, just hearing her talk about, how far it's come, and that was just sort of quite moving, really.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yeah. And fair play, do you know what I mean? It's a long time coming, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. But we got there. We got there in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. Hello, Tim. I'm Pat.
Hello, Pat.
How are things progressing with the player performance pathway?
Really well. We currently have 2 sessions, one on Tuesday, which is for 6 to 10-year-olds, and one on Friday for 11 to 16-year-olds. So we sort of cover the whole sort of spectrum. We started it around sort of January time, I believe, and now we've got roughly around 140 young players attending each week.
Blimey. And
we've managed to send 9 in at the moment to the pre-academy and the full academy, so quite successful as well, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hopefully we'll see one of them playing for us one day.
Yeah, well, this is it. I've had some great meetings with Barry Dunn, the head of recruitment, and obviously Scott, the head of the academy, and they're all really behind it. And as I say, the reason it was set up was to get more of the talented youngsters instead of getting them snapped up by your Man Cities and that, trying to get them into the Millwall Academy. So the fact that we've got 9 in that short space of time, although that doesn't sound that high, that is quite a good return, to be fair.
That's very good.
Can I just jump in here, Tim? Is this unusual? would we have these sort of kids, this amount of kids coming into our, or are these completely kids that you wouldn't have got anywhere near normally?
Yeah. Basically, the idea of the pathway is to nurture and group the most talented kids from the local area into one place. So it makes it a lot easier to identify them. So, yeah, you could say that some may have been spotted, but some may have been lost to other clubs as well quite easily. So, yeah, as I said, talking to Scott and that, just being able to group them all in in our fantastic facility at St Paul's Sports Grounds is just ideal for everybody, including the recruitment team. So, the more success we have with that, the more likely that we're going to get more players coming who want to be seen all the time. We've actually got what we call a showcase event going on tomorrow. So a load of the recruitment team are coming down and we're putting on these small-sided games where they can view, I think we've got about 50, 60 11-year-olds. And we're going to do one a week all through the summer. So it's going to be 11s, 12s, 13s, 14s, 15s. So we're hoping that, a few youngsters are spotted at these events. We're doing it completely for free as well. So
can I ask, is that a closed shop? I mean, you won't get talent spotters from other clubs there watching.
Yeah, well, in regards to that, it is a closed shop, because you're going to have to come through the turnstiles, and if you don't work for Millwall and you haven't got a child there, you won't be let in.
Right.
So,
hi Tim, it's Dave here.
Hello, Dave.
Just going back to the events of Sunday and the success of the ladies in the Euro final.
Have we got over it yet?
Oh yeah, I know.
Well done, cried.
Do you think that's going to help to bring more girls to the Premier League kicks this sessions?
Yeah, well, I certainly hope so. I don't see why it wouldn't. Do you know what I mean? If that's not inspiring, then I don't know what is. We're certainly hoping that it will. We currently run 2 girls-only sessions on Wednesdays and Thursdays, where we do have quite a few girls, but we could certainly welcome a lot more. Some of the things, because it's literally just come on to my sort of remit, dealing with the girls' side of things as well. So I've already got certain plans in place for growing it. As you guys know, we work very closely with the Lionesses, the Millwall Lionesses, and we've got our own girls' academy. So the idea will be from September, we're going to use some of the under-18s to go into the local schools, both primary and secondary, and start doing assemblies and stuff and talking about, these fantastic opportunities that we have in the local area, especially as, I don't know if you guys know, but obviously the KICS program is funded, so it's completely free for these young girls to take part. So, we're hoping that we could just grow it massively off of the back of, obviously, that fantastic tournament that we've all just witnessed. I think.
So is that government funded or the club or?
No, it's Premier League funded. So because obviously we're a professional football club, we can apply to the Premier League to receive funding to run activities such as the Premier League kicks. So we also get funding from the EFL as well to run a host of other sort of programs as well.
Excellent.
But what I was going to say is obviously our girls' academy starts at under 14, so what we want to do is bridge that gap from what I want to do long term is create a girls' performance pathway as well, so it'll run along the same line as the boys. So we'll start with the kicks, and then the ones who want to push on a bit and take it a bit more serious, we can facilitate that via this female player performance pathway.
Excellent.
That's great.
Sounds good.
It's George here, Tim.
Hello, George.
Hello, mate. I understand you've been doing some new mental health sessions, and I wonder if you could sort of bring us up to speed what's going on there.
Yeah, we haven't actually started yet. We're due to start on Sunday the 14th.
All right.
So, basically, the way it come about, I got a message from an old colleague and sent a short film to watch, and it was basically this organisation, like charitable organisation called Head in the Game. And I'm watching this video, and basically the premise is that it's a bunch of guys who come together to have a bit of a kickabout. But where the difference is that at the beginning of every session, they sort of form a circle, and they have a 5 to 10 minute where they will go through certain stresses that they've had during the week or pressure that they're feeling and stuff like it. It's basically a sort of initiative where it's a safe space for men to talk about their problems, basically, because that's what we all know.
Yeah.
Being blokes, we tend to find that hard to, tell other people about problems that we may be having. And I then got in contact with the guy from Head in the Game and got speaking to him, and he told me he set it up because of obviously after COVID and people lost their jobs and stuff like that, the suicide rates went right up in quite young males.
Yeah,
so
sure they do.
I've actually had a couple of friends who've committed suicide themselves, and I'm sure everyone has been affected in some way, whether that's a family or friend or knows someone. Do you know what I mean? And it's quite prevalent, especially in times where the jobs are being lost, prices are going up. There's just this constant sort of pressure, and we know that there's a bit of a stigma around sort of mental health and seeking help and talking to people. So, cut a long story short, Mark, the guy who oversees Head in the Game, I said, look, this is a fantastic initiative that you've sort of set up here. I think that the areas that we work in, obviously Southwark and Lewisham, we all have these problems wherever you are across the country, but why don't you guys come to us? We'll set up this program. It starts as a 12-week program, but the idea is that we have a staff member in who they train over the 12 weeks alongside the sessions so that it becomes sustainable moving forwards, and we have this free weekly sort of drop-in session for anybody really who's feeling in a bad place and maybe doesn't know what to do,
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Where would this take place, Tim?
It's taking place at the Lions Centre on Sundays.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I believe it's 7 till 9 o'clock every Sunday from the 14th of August. So the way it works, as I say, is you sign up for it via the Head in the Game website, and then, you just basically turn up. We have a chat. Mark himself said, week 1, 2, nobody really says a lot at the beginning because there's, you're not used to expressing your feelings and stuff like that. But by about week 3, 4, everybody's a bit more comfortable, and then as soon as they come in, they're like, "Oh, you won't believe, what happened," and you just get it out of your system, and then you have a good kickabout. So the physical activity side as well helps. And like some of the testimonials, it's pretty much saving lives,
Yeah, sounds great. Well done.
Yeah,
brilliant.
So it's something I'm very proud to have helped bring to our areas as well.
Yeah, no, keep up the good work, Tim. Tim, before we let you go though, just a quick prediction for Saturday against Sheffield United up at Bramall Lane.
As you guys touched on earlier, it's never easy, is it, up that way? But I reckon we're going to sneak a 1-0. I think we looked solid the other day. I know, obviously, the cup wasn't a great result, but I'd rather take the league than the cup all day long anyway. So, fingers crossed, 1-0. But thanks for having us
on the season to hear how all those things are going further in the year.
Yeah, I'm sure there'll be a lot more stuff as well. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, brilliant.
All right.
Cheers, Tim.
Thanks, Tim.
Thanks for having
Thanks, Tim.
Bye.
Cheers.
Bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
We're looking forward to seeing the Lions in action again, but in the meantime, here are a few matters of interest for Millwall fans.
Have you ever thought about sponsoring a player? enjoying a great executive lounge VIP package with family and friends, or just getting behind the club in several different ways, and that includes business propositions from advertising to sponsorship. All you have to do is contact the lovely Andrew Stead or a member of his team in the commercial department to find out more. That's good night from me.
Or fancy a trip to Kenya with African Adventures and Millwall Community Trust next year in 2023. Well, join the MCT for an online information evening on Tuesday, the 16th of August from 6 p.m, where you can find out more about this life-changing volunteering trip. A member of the MCT partnership team will deliver a presentation to the group which will cover your trip destination, where you will stay, our partner schools, volunteering roles, what's included, your adventure activities, your safety and fundraising. Throughout the presentation, there will be opportunities to ask questions. For more information and to sign up for the online presentation, go to www.africanadventures.co.uk/Millwall-2/. I'll repeat that, www.africanadventures.co.uk/Millwall-2/. And lastly, Eamon returns for the show on Friday next week at 8 p.m. to host Stan, Dave again, and Ted. There will be reviews, previews, and a couple of guests too. Don't miss it. Good night.
Cool, I'm glad you said that one, Pat. That's quite a long one, wasn't it, that one? Bartosz Sparkowski and Scott Malone opened the brand new food hub on last Saturday afternoon, as lots of you would have seen it. The duo attended the new unit, situated opposite the SE16 bus bar, and handed over items donated by the Millwall squad. The food hub are seeking the following, and any help is greatly appreciated. I could do with some of these myself. It's shower gel, toothpaste, shampoo, laundry detergent. Thank you. Tinned food, including tuna, meatballs, corned beef, all them sort of things, potatoes, beans, veg, tea, coffee, sugar and pasta. So if you have any of these items, bring them along to the food hub. It's in the SE area, SE16 area on match days, and the guys will be only too glad to see you. Good night, everybody.
Don't forget, you'll be able to listen to the No One Likes a Talking team bring reports from both our home and away games with Millwall Community Matters on Maritime Radio, broadcasting on 96.5 FM. Links are on our Instagram, Facebook and Twitter social media sites and all popular podcast sites. That's it from me. Thanks, Pat, Dave and George. And until next time, it's bye from me. Take care.